Hello and welcome to Why We Loved Star Wars Battlefront 2. My name is LSA and today I'm going to be having a look at the very reasons why Battlefront 2 is held so highly by most people. And I'm talking about the 2005 version, not the new one. So I want to make this relatively fast but also cover the most important things, so I'm going to break it down into 4 quick sections. We'll take a look at the story, the gameplay, visuals and graphics, and finish with the soundtrack. Let's get into it then. The story of Battlefront 2 lands you on the planet of Mygeeto towards the end of the Clone Wars, where you assume the role of an unnamed 501st soldier. Over the course of 14 land battles and 4 space battles, you get to experience the rise of the Empire firsthand, turning from one of the good guys to one of the bad guys. You work your way through the battles alongside Jedi under their command, only to see them stabbed in the back and you're the one doing it. Each battle takes you to a new environment with new opponents to face, be it droid, human or a native species. Whilst the Battlefront 2 story isn't the #1 reason why this game is held highly by most fans, it's still one of my personal favourite Star Wars campaigns within any game, and I feel it deserves more credit than it receives. It gives an amazing representation of how some of the events took place within Star Wars, and to complement that even more, the story can quite easily be followed by those who haven't even seen the films. I mean, if you don't understand what's going on, a backstory is literally read out to you before each battle explaining what's taken place, and there are also easy to follow objectives read out to you throughout the fighting, which means anyone who loads up the game can pretty much understand what's going on. Whether it's the tight corridors of Polis Massa or the vast open space of Geonosis, the vast gunfights of Battlefront 2, to simply put it, felt awesome. By hitting instant action, you could throw yourself into battle in literally a matter of seconds, and it wouldn't be long until you begin to hear the sounds of both friendly and enemy vehicles, blasters and explosions. The old Battlefront has a variety of classes for you to pick from, and each one requires an individual playstyle which works super well. Each of the 4 playable factions share 4 types of ground soldier and 2 types of pilot. On top of the standard 4 which are unlocked immediately, each faction also includes 2 locked classes which can be accessed by performing well in battle throughout an ongoing game. These included Droidekas, Jet Troopers, I'm sure you can do the math. And as well as the main classes, heroes and villains could also be unlocked mid-battle. No level unlocks or currency, if you play good, you get rewarded, and these special characters all have the mechanics of their own. They also had loadouts of their own. Man, they were just really fun to play, but the list doesn't end there. Special hunt game modes can be played on certain maps which allow you to control some of the native inhabitants of specific planets, like for example Tatooine's Tusken Raiders and Jawas, or Hoth Wampas. Are you satisfied yet? Because this is fucking awesome. Sorry, I got a little bit excited there. But the movement of Battlefront 2 is also something worth noting. For a game of 2005, the movement is fluid, it's not clunky. Navigating around buildings and cover isn't awkward, it's smooth. It's not something to give it an award for, but hey, I appreciated it. Now, Galactic Conquest. I could actually go on for ages speaking about how much I played this, but I'm going to keep it pretty simple. It was a favourite for many fans, the ability to quite literally conquer the galaxy and crush your enemy. The progression system within Galactic Conquest, it was satisfying. The more battles you fight, the more troops and bonuses there are at your disposal. Once again, you can play this through as each of the 4 factions, and there are even mods that add new eras not just to instant action, but our beloved Galactic Conquest 2. As I've mentioned, and it is also pretty apparent in the title, the game was released just under 15 years ago. And for a game of that age, the graphics really aren't that bad. Now, it can't be compared to a AAA title that's been released recently, but the models and textures, they're good enough so that they don't distract you from the gameplay itself, and that's what you want. Each map brings about an entirely new environment and atmosphere, some looking more attractive than others. However, if you want to improve upon the vanilla graphics, then there are pages upon pages of mods and overhauls available online. Funnily enough, I'm actually using a reshader in the footage I've been using for this video, and if you want to check it out, I'll include the link in the description. Now, I was surprised when I went about searching for the OST of Battlefront 2, and this was because the game's soundtrack was only made up of 18 songs, and each of them corresponded to an individual hero you can play as, but I was a little bit surprised because I just seem to recall there being a wider variety of songs, but still pretty cool. I mean, each track is taken straight from the film, so back in the day when we were like 7 years old playing, we really did feel like we were reenacting our own battles. Damn, nostalgia, feels good, man. I'll also include a link to the playlist on YouTube, which includes all the 18 tracks. You can find it back in the description like I mentioned earlier. So that way, you know, you can pretend you're playing the game when you're on the bus. I don't know, Star Wars does weird things to you, man. Obviously there's not too much to go into depth about regarding the soundtrack, so that means I can wrap up this trip down memory lane, with it remaining to be one of the top games of my childhood. I guess that was why we loved Battlefront 2. And remember,
watch those wrist rockets!